Hey guys, this is the Revolutionary Male. My name is Alex, and tonight I'm going to go ahead and read an article from the wonderfully content-producing website Bold.com. An article written by Jessica Blake is her name. 15 amazing things about you that make it harder to settle. This is going to be good. We're going to enjoy this. People say it's crazy AF that you're still single when you're so hot, amazing, and fun to be around. Side tangent, crazy AF. Why do we have to talk like children? I don't understand this. It's silly and stupid to me. That's just my personal issue with it, I guess. But okay, it's just kind of stupid. There are reasons you're still rolling solo, which I also hate there, but they don't mean there's anything wrong with you. In fact, it's actually the opposite. Maybe it is. Let's find out. Number 1, you don't back down. You refuse to lower your standards even an inch. It's not that you're unwilling to compromise, but you know that your values won't be compromised on because you matter more than a guy. It's not your fault so many guys don't meet your standards, but it is their loss. Yeah, it might be a problem if you're uncompromising, just simply because relationships are about compromise. And if like a large portion of the population of men, if you're a heterosexual woman, are incapable of meeting whatever the standard is that you've set up in your mind, I would expect you to have some larger underlying problems with maybe intimacy or trust that you may want to get examined. So, an appointment with a therapist, at the very least, you could get a clean bill of health, and maybe it isn't that anything's wrong with you and it's me that has the problem, as the collective man out there. But whatever, live and let live, I guess, in this regard. Number 2, you don't give second chances. If you meet someone and they hurt you, you don't go back to them. They get one chance or they're out. People might call you quote unquote too picky, but you know that some people don't deserve second chances. If he messed up, he can GTFO. Next. Wow, this is... this kind of pet peeve again, this kind of language doesn't work when it's written. This is better when in a visual medium or even like a podcast or audio of some kind. It doesn't really sell the same way, but whatever. If you are too picky, that's a problem that you have. Of course, if people hurt you, you shouldn't go back to them or give them second chances. I mean, depending on what the hurt is we're talking about here, assuming it's like reasonable, that they hurt you in a significant way, obviously. But given the fact that this person is already describing themselves, or this hypothetical woman, though most likely her, as too picky, I would imagine what her standard is for hurt is probably crazy. But that's just me. I'm just one guy out here with a point of view. Number 3, my favorite, or one of my favorites, absolutely. You don't need a man. It might sound defensive when you use this as a reason for why you're single, but it's true. You know that you're doing great on your own and don't need to have a relationship to feel better or give your life meaning. Okay, then why the article in the first place? This is a problem, ladies. This is a real problem. You need us. We need you. I don't see this, I don't read this and think this woman is independent and strong and emotionally secure. I read this and I see this and I see a woman who has emotional issues, who has struggled and probably will continue to struggle being successful in relationships with men because she clearly is not very compromising, which is what relationships are about. I don't know if I said that earlier. For number 1, but relationships are about compromise. So if you're not willing to compromise in any circumstance and everything kind of has to be your way, that's going to be a problem. Definitely be a problem in romantic relationships. But, let's continue on. Number 4, you already have everything you need. You don't feel excited about men who treat you well. Let's read that sentence again. Wow. That was like being slapped in the face. You don't feel excited about men who treat you well because you do all that stuff for yourself. I don't know if that says what this person intends it to say, because it sounds like if you're a guy and you treat this woman the right way, treat her well, you don't get, gratitude or respect or praise or any, that's not valued for, you don't get anything for that, which is a problem. If you're a woman who behaves like this, you're the problem, not the men. Sorry, it's the way that is. Because you should treat people who treat you well. You should treat people well who treat you well. Do unto others, that sort of thing. Anyway, so really, your glass is overflowing with self-love. You're not really sure what guys are supposed to bring to your life. And if you do find a reason for them to be around, it doesn't have to be forever. Wow. Jesus. That's a very transactional understanding of what relationships are supposed to be. So it doesn't surprise me that you're single. If you see relationships as entirely transactional, then I have the feeling you're kind of one of those women who only dates rich men, or only dates tall, really good-looking men who make a lot of money, like that sort of thing. Because those are the things that you specifically, as a 5'3" woman who makes $80,000 a year, doesn't have. You're not rich, you're not 6 feet tall, and you're not a guy. So that's very transactional and not a healthy perspective when it comes to personal relationships. Wow. Number 5, you play hard to get. Another bad sign. It's scary how this comes up as a negative reason for why some women are single, but you know what? It's a good thing. No, it's not. Playing hard to get, like not making yourself too available, weeds out the losers and jerks. No, this is advice I would give a man who is maybe somewhat codependent or has some issues with self-esteem, with valuing himself, making himself too available to women and kind of pushing them away, because that's the kind of reaction that anyone should have when someone makes themselves too available, is kind of desperate for affection. But you shouldn't be playing hard to get. Feigning interest or feigning disinterest, playing games with people, this is not healthy behavior. This is behavior that only people with emotional problems exhibit. Okay? Simple as that. If you're actually interested in a human being, then you display that genuine interest. And if it doesn't work out, as someone who has developed a sense of resilience, you can be okay with that. We're not protecting ourselves by playing hard to get, and neither are you. Number 6. Wow, this one's awful. You're intimidating. Sure. Yes, guys have called you intimidating before, and you've wondered what the hell it really means. What it really means is that you're kind of a control freak. I was going to curse there. You're kind of a control freak, an a-hole. I think that's what it mostly means when we say that. Here's the answer. They're insecure little a-holes. Okay. It's possible that some of them are, maybe. But I don't imagine that the woman being described in this list here is a woman any self-respecting quality man would want to be in a relationship with. So in those instances, to kind of protect ourselves from being targeted by a woman like this, because God knows what they're capable of, we might say that they're intimidating, to put them at ease. Not justifying it necessarily. I guess it's not right to lie. But it could be true that I might see a woman who's like that as intimidating because she's not healthy enough to be in a relationship with me, because that would be scary. Yeah, that would definitely be scary, a woman like that. Okay, but it doesn't mean I'm insecure about myself. I'm just afraid of you and what you're capable of. You'd rather date a guy who's confident and appreciates all that makes you amazing than settle for a guy who doesn't know how to handle you. I shouldn't have to handle you. Simple as that. I shouldn't have to handle you. I'm not responsible for your emotions, so I'm not in control of your emotions, so I'm not going to take responsibility for them. I don't have to handle you. Number 7. You don't get out there. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. You just don't feel like hitting the dating scene. And why should you? It's a myth to think that just because you're single, you need to be dating. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what that really has to do with making it the like amazing. I don't see how that's an amazing thing that makes it hard for you to settle. You don't have to date, obviously, but it's going to be harder for you to get into a relationship with someone if you're not dating. Yeah, I'm not sure what this really has to do with anything in this article, but okay, fair enough. Number 8, you have big expectations. Of course you do. Of course you do. You're not hoping to meet Channing Tatum and marry him, but if you're going to date again, you want it to be really, really special. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Is this person a child? What are we talking about here? A freaking Disney movie? Good Lord. This is delusional. If you think about it, you'll see that waiting for a great love isn't actually a big expectation. Yes, it is, because you're just waiting. You literally said it. Waiting for a great love. Great loves don't just happen. You have to go out there and create it. You have to go out there and build a relationship with someone. That's how that stuff works. You just can't sit around on your hands and do nothing. There's enough in the world that's boring. Love definitely should be. Oh yeah, love is boring. Stable, healthy love is really friggin' boring sometimes. That's the nature of life. A lot of stuff in life is really boring, and that's okay. It should be that way, because we shouldn't be living roller coaster lives, roller coaster lives, and our relationships shouldn't be roller coaster rides. They shouldn't be unpredictable and unstable. That's not how this stuff should work. And if that's what you think great love is, then I would suggest you get some help, because you have a misunderstanding, an incredible misunderstanding about what this is supposed to look like. People who are in long-term healthy relationships depend on that stability. That's what makes them that's what enables them to survive. Because if you don't know what your partner is doing, or what they're going to be doing, or what they're going to be thinking or saying or believing at any given moment in time, that is not healthy. And it's not a predictor of a long-term stable relationship. Number 9, you don't need a relationship to validate. Oh man. You don't need a relationship to validate your hotness. Oh boy. Guys say, let's see if we say this or not, but you're so gorgeous. How are you single? Well, anybody who says that, I guess, doesn't realize that it takes more to be in a relationship than just being good looking. So, shame on those guys, I suppose. As though your hotness has the sole purpose of finding you a guy. Whatever. You know you're attractive, but you don't need a boyfriend to make you feel attractive. You work hard on being healthy, fit, and confident, and that's where your true beauty lies. This woman doesn't sound confident, honestly, because if this is offensive to her for some reason, when a man says, but you're so gorgeous, how are you single? You probably have bigger issues. I can see maybe it being a pet peeve, something that is kind of annoying. But okay, whatever, let's move on. Number 10, you put your happiness in the number 1 spot. You don't stick around in friendships or relationships that don't make you happy. Honestly, why should you? You know that there will be bad times in relationships, but if the bad outweighs the good, you're crazy to stay, not crazy to head back to single life. I mean, it's interesting that it's framed this way. I don't really particularly care for the way that it is framed. Because other people aren't responsible for making you happy. Relationships shouldn't make you happy. Relationships can make you unhappy. People can make you, pardon me, wow, interesting. People can make you unhappy. Relationships can make you unhappy if you allow them to, if you don't take responsibility for the decisions that you make. And if you remain in relationships that are not good for you. But it's not other people's responsibility to make you happy. It's not the responsibility of the relationship to make you happy. It's just a bizarre way to look at it. And it just goes to show you that this person, whoever this woman is, I would imagine Jessica Blake here is talking about Jessica Blake. This is part of your problem. Just not taking responsibility for your own life. Number 11, you're smart. You can spot a toxic guy from a mile away. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you're great at it. You go, girl. You follow your gut when dating to steer clear of the a-holes and time wasters. You're smart enough to know that being single is always better than being with someone who's bad news. Of course, that's true. Being single is definitely better than being someone who's bad news. But word to the wise, if you find yourself in situations repeatedly where you're steering clear of potential a-holes or time wasters, you might want to kind of take a moment and recognize what the common denominator is. It's you. And figure out why you keep attracting people like that. Because relationships are reflective. We tend to attract what we are. So, piece of advice. Number 12, you're fabulous. Excellent. Friends tell you how amazing you are and how you'd make any guy super happy. Yeah, you know it. But let's be real. It's not easy to find a guy who's as supportive, loyal, and decent as you are. You make sure that people you allow into your life only bring goodness to it. The result, your life is full and happy. Okay, this is such a bizarre... Wow, this is such a weird... I don't know, this article is very strange to me. Because people who genuinely feel this way really don't talk about it. But okay. And they don't talk about it like this. Because it definitely seems like there's a lot of external validation going on. Whatever. Number 13, you're not a chaser. Maybe you're single even though you're amazing because you're not the type of person to chase a guy. This is a good thing. You should never degrade yourself, and you're certainly not desperate. Interesting. There's something there, isn't there? I don't know. It feels like there's something underneath that. Chasing a guy and being degraded and not desperate. Not sure what it is, but there's definitely that's very emotionally charged language. And it's a lot more emotionally charged, at least it feels that way to me, than much of the rest of this article. But I don't know. I'll have to think about it. If a guy can't make the effort with you and he doesn't impress you, why would you change your life around to accommodate him? Oh, hell no. That's interesting. That feels really personal. But the thing is, like, if you're going to have a relationship with someone, you do have to change in your life and to accommodate that other person. That's kind of the way that this works. Like, you wouldn't expect to go and get hired to do a job and then not change your life to accommodate the fact that you have to work that job. But, whatever. Okay. Very strange. Number 14. You rejected Mr. Right. Okay. This is going to be interesting. You meet wonderful guys all the time. In fact, just last week, Mr. Right came along and you shut him down. Seriously, you're not looking for a relationship. In the same way that platform shoes aren't everyone's cup of tea and not everyone wants to climb Mount Everest. You're simply not interested in having a relationship because your resources are meant to go elsewhere, straight into your life and dreams. Okay? Then what the hell are you doing writing an article on a website devoted to relationships? This is bizarre. If you want a relationship, if that's one of your long-term goals, then you have to be ready for it to come along at any time. I mean, life's about trade-offs. That's bizarre. Doesn't meeting Mr. Right and incorporating Mr. Right into your life also a part of directing your resources into your life and dreams? That's the bizarre thing here. It's like this author views men and romantic relationships with men as accessories, as an accessory to her life, as like a decorative element, not an integral foundational piece. And maybe that's why this person is single, because she doesn't see men in a healthy way. She views relationships transactionally and very superficially. This is really screwed up. And finally, the last one, number 15. You've got bigger goals than being someone's girlfriend. Wow. That's really insulting to both people. I don't know if you're the kind of person who wants a long-term romantic relationship. That's a pretty big goal. It's something that is very hard to create and sustain over long periods of time, as the divorce rate shows us. So this is amazing. This author is really devaluing these relationships and devaluing men. Jesus. You've got more important goals than finding Mr. Right on Tinder. The likelihood of you finding Mr. Right on Tinder is very low. But okay, you're building a freaking empire, damn it. Yeah, every woman who has an online business as a music teacher is building an empire. You're right. Go ahead. Girl power. Rock on, girl. You go. Jesus. Right now, that's more important. And who knows, it might be more important forever, which suits you just fine. There's something incredibly bitter and angry about all of this. It's kind of like justification after the fact. Like they've ruined their chances of finding love and long-term love and with a man in a relationship. And now are kind of rationalizing it after the fact. But, you know, that's just my interpretation. Anyway, guys, if you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you didn't like it, which is entirely possible, go ahead and hit the dislike button. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments section below. If you would like to subscribe, if you want to subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you have any questions, concerns, go ahead and send me an email at therevolutionarymail@gmail.com. And I will see you for the next one.